This is what you need to speed up damage in the Centennial event. First, you need Qua bombs, but I'll call them Q bombs. Purchase them either from the broker under consumables, if you have the cash, or run the content for the new event. You can get up to 8 to 10 Q bombs in total if you run all 5 missions. However, one is weekly. I recommend you have at least 20 minimum, but more is always better. The bombs will reduce the health on the Guardians, Shadow Demons, and Antimatter Shards, but the bombs will not kill them. Whatever current health is on the NPC is what is getting reduced by 40%, so you still need to damage them to get rid of them completely. Second, the Exobyte Interference Shield. It'll shield all members for about 12 seconds, which grants an immunity for a short time to the Anti-Monitor's control effects. Cycle them with team members. The timer for the feat begins when the first NPC dies, so remember that. Your recommended setup is to have 2 teams. One stays north and the other stays on the south side. If you have a celestial healer, their heals will reach everyone in the map, which is obvious. If not, take 2 healers. One goes north and one goes south. Even the healers should have Q bombs. They must have Q bombs. You do not need tanks for this feat. Given that Q bombs are what you need to reduce health on enemies dramatically, the burn is not important on this phase. However, everyone must use the Q bombs on the shards and the enemies surrounding the shards to reduce their health during that moment by 40%. Once health is low enough, the DPS that is left from the remaining DPS should be enough to get rid of them. Usually 2 or 3 Q bombs and an orbital on each shard is enough to move on. Once the shards reach 20% health, another shard will spawn, and this can happen until all 9 are up. If that approach doesn't work for you, you could take advantage of that bit of information. With 2 teams on each side, everyone should ignore the adds and go straight for the shards. Kill whatever adds are on your way. If your side has no shards, DPS the adds to relieve incoming damage. Once the shard phase is done, if you have a second healer, have them switch to DPS, because you don't need them anymore from this point on. Everyone melee damage the anti-monitor. Defense debuff if you can. Stats is capped in this instance, even after the CR buff, so drinking nitro or omegas will not increase your damage. My TV spazzed, so there are a few seconds somewhere in this fight where you'll see that I don't do anything. That's not what you're supposed to do as a troller. I just had to turn on and turn off the TV. As a troller, use your Q bombs too, because you want to use them obviously on the shards and the shadow demons on that phase. Use your stuns to stop NPCs from reaching the anti-monitor. Once the anti-monitor is at halfway, shadow demons will try to reach that boss. It's a different phase. Everyone should make a circle around the boss and spread out. Use the Q bombs that I'm talking about on the shadow demons. That will reduce their health by 40%. However, again, it will not kill them. You still need to DPS them. Continue to DPS, and if you're a controller, stun them if you can. Once that phase is completed, the controller should switch immediately to DPS and have the healer with no controller, if they can manage the power consumption. But everyone cycle your supply drops if available to help out the healer. If you have orbitals, you should all call them out to see who is going to use them, and try to call them out 5 seconds before so you don't overlap. This right here is extremely important, that you don't overlap your orbitals, because again, your stats are clamped regardless if your CR is buffed. So you're all technically on the same page in terms of damage.
I always have an arrow in the quiver.
That no hurt. Bizarro, welcome, friendly game of punch.
Point and shoot.
His shield is down again. Now's our chance. Attack him.
Shocking no one, I've got a brilliant plan that should save us all. Zoom and Flash can use the Speed Force whirlwind to open a breach that will punt the anti-monitor into the future. Bing, bang, boom.
That
You should also get the Shattering Expectations feat by default as you do this. If not, you can always do this feat in a separate run. I managed to get the feat on release date. You just need everyone on the same page, and everyone needs to be honest about how many Q bombs they have. The scorecard will give some indication as to who was and was not using them in the fight. The top players will usually double or more the damage of the players below if they are not using it. So if you're looking to exclude or get rid of members that are just being stubborn, that's what you can look at. The other thing, again, make sure you guys try to have at least a minimum, I recommend 20, just so that you have extra ones to spam if needed. If you have further questions or if something is unclear, ask in the comment section below, and good luck.